Good morning to the country way world. Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, y'all. I've been crying from laughing this morning. I wasn't expecting Sunday morning to wake up to Shayla popping up at Amber House. So this whole entire 10 minutes gonna be on that. Jesus, Lord Almighty. I want my money. I want my money. For those of y'all that said that Shayla was not gonna go over there, and this was not gonna happen. I want my money. I told y'all months ago that girl was gonna pop up. Y'all said Shayla ain't gonna pop up. Yeah, she popped up. Popped her behind right on over there and got what she asked for. That man said, I love my wife. I'm here with my wife. And then it went from that, baby, I'm begging, baby, I'm begging, begging, baby. Baby, I'm begging, baby, I'm begging, baby, baby. She was begging. And that man made his choice. But when Amber stepped up, the way she stepped up, that's how a grown woman deal with a female like that. You don't go on some ghetto ratchet, stoop down to their level. You say, look, you heard my husband. You heard what he said. Now leave. Amber ain't going to jail no more. Amber said, I am not losing no more time, no more sleep, no more nothing over you. But see, I would have added something like, I would have had to say something. First of all, he was my husband when you started messing with him. He was my husband when you thought you can go behind my back and wear my wedding dress. He was my husband. So like I said, Anthony, tell her about about the drunken situation. Because at the end of the day, what really changed Amber is when he said, I love my wife. At the end of the day, that man is not leaving his wife. He got way too much to lose. But does he love Amber? Yes, I do. I believe he loves Amber. I think this right here made him realize that Shayla is a liability. At least with Amber, Amber's about her business. Amber's about making money. Amber brings something to the table. Amber helped him to get back on his feet. Even though Rolanda did give him the money, Amber is the one that encouraged him. So at the end of the day, he is where he wants to be. So that's it on that. So Shayla, take your tail between your legs, go get in that car, go back home, and raise your child. But you already know where she going, straight to her mama house. And when Angeline finds out that Anthony went back to Amber, and if it is true that she did something to that paperwork, her daughter gonna hate her. And I think that's gonna be the next step as far as getting another DNA test, because Amber gonna want another DNA test done, and this time it's gonna be done legally. And then if it does turn out the baby is not his, then that means that baby is Arby's baby. And if that baby is Arby's baby, Arby gonna end up taking that baby. Him and Jasmine gonna raise that baby. That's what's gonna happen. Jasmine and Arby ain't gonna have another baby. They gonna raise that one because Shayla gonna be able to keep that baby. Because Arby will now have a case, and you best believe Anthony gonna help him get that baby. Because after everything what he did to Arby, that's his way of making amends. So if you think that Wayne is not gonna help Arby get that baby, he is, and him and Jasmine gonna raise that baby. Because even though Jasmine is a lot of things, but the one thing I can say, she loves Arby, and she does have Arby's best interest at heart. So it's gonna be them, her daughter, and then his son, because that baby's Arby's baby. That baby has always been Arby's baby. I think it was, like I said, and even if it turns out that the baby is in fact his baby, it doesn't make a difference at this point, because the only thing that's going to happen is Amber and Anthony are going to be able to see the baby. It ain't going to be nothing that Shayla can do at this point. She can't keep the baby from him, and then he's not on the DNA test, so another DNA test has to be done. So like I told y'all, at the end of the day, as things progress, it's not about right or wrong in situations. It's about watching it progress. And then in the end, if it does do a Hail Mary, or if it does be a situation where things change, it's called adapting. So either way it go, whether he's a father or not, it don't really make a difference to me. But the point is, you have to go off what's going on currently. But the reason I don't think they're going to go that route It's because it's too far gone as far as the baby is concerned. And if you say the baby's not his, then that would take away the drama. But I am glad they're finally moving this along. Now the question is Amber going to take Anthony back or she's not? But if they do get back together, okay, cool. But now what's going to be the next story that's going to be the big thing? Because the thing with Erica and Lawrence, people just said it didn't make sense. This should have happened while they were together, not while they were engaged. So they have to find something to put in its place, and I think that's what they're trying to do. Find a storyline. I think that's why the Mike and Sonny thing gonna be next. So, they can finally close this chapter with Anthony, Amber, and Shayla. Because if Shayla ends up going to jail in real life, then the chapter will be closed. Will they replace Shayla? I don't know. They might, but I don't know. But go ahead on Amber. I love the way you handled it. I love the fact you had on your pretty dress. You had on your makeup. I love the fact that you didn't, you let Anthony handle that. You wanted to see what his reaction was going to be. And he said he loved his wife and that he wants to be with his wife and this is where he want to be. As Donnell Jones said, if you love somebody, you just don't treat them bad. Oh, how I feel so sad now that I want to leave. You're crying your heart to me. How can I let this be? Oh, it's sad to see that how it's sad to see that you want to leave and I want to be. Yeah, I forgot the last part. I always forget the last part, but that's right. But anyway, I love the way Amber handled it. She said, "This is my husband, not your husband, my husband." So at the end of the day, like I said, somehow I think they're gonna end up raising that baby. I think Shayla gonna end up in a nut house. Something gonna happen to her, and they're gonna be the ones raising the baby. I don't think that Angelina and Brody gonna get the baby. I think that Anthony gonna end up raising that baby. That's why I said I don't think they're gonna say the baby's not his. I just think what's gonna happen is Shayla gonna spiral out. Something gonna happen with that baby, and Brody and Angelina are not gonna be able to get the baby. But I believe what's gonna happen is gonna be a court case of who gonna get custody of the baby. Is it gonna be Anthony and Amber, or is it gonna be Brody and Angeline? And that is what's gonna bring them together because they're gonna have to come together to go to court. The problem is Shayla is unstable. So, like I said, we already seeing how unstable she is, and she is getting ready to unravel. So today, get prepared. I'm gonna go ahead and do my commentary now. She gonna run over there to Angelina. Angelina not gonna know what to say or what to do. She gonna want payback, but I think Shayla gonna end up seeing the papers, and somehow, somewhere, she gonna find them papers and find out the truth that Anthony is not the father of that baby, or Brody is not her daddy. One of the two. But Angeline, you sat there and you prayed. You prayed that, things would get better. But see, the one thing about when you do negative things, there are consequences, repercussions, and karma to your actions, behavior, choices, and decisions. Let this be a cautionary tale to all of you females out here. Stop being side chicks. Stop being groupies. Stop messing around with another woman's man. Leave him alone. As soon as you find out he's married, leave him alone. And like I said, before y'all get involved with these men, be Inspector Gadgets and do your PR work and find out if, in fact, he's really not married or not engaged or not a baby daddy that's still with a baby mom. You need to find that out before you even waste your time on a man. Do your research. Look on their Instagram. If you cannot find their Instagram, that should be red flag. If you're not allowed to be on the Instagram or any type of social media, that's flag number 2. If you're not allowed to go to their crib, that's flag number 3. Leave them alone. It ain't no amount of money that's worth being a side chick because look at what just happened. There's nothing as far as being a baby mama. That's what I'm saying. Kids don't keep people together, and that's a cautionary tale. So you better make sure your relationship is strong enough before you have kids. Because the one thing that kids can do more than anything else, not even their intentions, is destroy a relationship. And it's not even their fault. And it's not their fault. But it's just the reality of it. So at the end of the day, if you're not ready. So at the end of the day, this just proves stop messing around with other people's husbands. Because in the end, they're going to go right back to their husband. And you're going to be screwed. I'll get to Mike and Sonny in a second. Bye, y'all.